Okay, one of the moves that we'll go over is the corkscrew, the basic movement, and then how to layer it and add it to combinations. The corkscrew looks like this, going counterclockwise from my perspective. So it's an under-over type of motion. Then I'll turn to the left, continuing the corkscrew, and come around full circle in the opposite direction. So I'm going clockwise and spinning to my right, also clockwise. And then coming out of the corkscrew, basically you just separate your arms. So here's the corkscrew, and you just bring your arms to the side. You can go the opposite way if you want to. Just bringing the arms to the side. Some things that you can layer with the corkscrew for the females are possibly a belly roll. So you'll have your corkscrew going, and then just kind of do the roll. It almost comes naturally because you'll have to swing your body out of the way of the poi. Another thing you can do is a level change. So while you have your corkscrew going, just go ahead and go down and up. And you can also incorporate a body roll into that as well. Move that we'll go over are basic turns, how to do turns, split time and at the same time. Turns are very necessary for movements and transitions and makes the poi look more exciting than actually doing a complex move in one spot. So basically, if the poi are moving at the same time, the same direction, you have movement like this, and then turning to the other side like this. Now we can also make a split time, so that means when one poi is up, one poi is down. Looks a little more visually interesting, and then we turn with that. So you want to really practice this move because, as I said, it is more visually interesting, and you have more ways of adding in other movements to this, going split time. Now once you get the turns going, you can also practice turns on one side on one plane. So something like this. Basically, you're not even completing a whole turn, but you're just learning to become familiar with the poi to be able to manipulate it around your body. Also, try to do a complete spin while you're turning to get the feel of that. Okay, next we'll do butterflies. Butterflies are spinning in towards each other or out, away from each other at the same time. So you get this effect like they're almost bouncing off of each other. When you're doing it to one side, say for instance, I'll go ahead and twist my body halfways. I'll be spinning on my right hip. If I bring it over to the left, they'll be spinning out. So you want to get really familiar with being able to spin out, the poi out in relation to each other, and then go ahead and spinning in towards each other. Just like the other moves that we learned, try to experiment not only with a complete turn, but get the feeling of how you can just use half of a butterfly, just this basic motion, to do something a little more. Basically, it's a smaller version of the movement, but you're able to just add one step to it. So maybe like a step out, maybe even a hip bump. Something you could do is, for the females especially, like a hip sway. So you might just draw your hips out to the left and the right. You just be using the poi to accent the move. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about transitions. Transitions will be important for choreography to be able to move from one movement to another. You might find when you're spinning the poi that you'll just end up in a certain place. For instance, if you're doing the butterfly, as you can see, my arms might naturally fall out to the place, and then maybe I could do another move. So when you're practicing the poi, try not to just practice the move itself, but realize where the poi takes you and the different places within that movement that you can stop to provide a different effect. So say for instance, like we went over the corkscrew, you might end up with one poi on each side, and you can just swing it around. So when you have that turn from front to back, and then you just twist your arms and you transition into another move. So when you're practicing a certain move, like back to the butterfly, see how it twists your arms out to the side, and then you might even be able to twist out to the side and make a turn, and then transition to a corkscrew. So really pay attention to the different landing spots, if you will, of the movements of the poi. Okay, I'll be going over weaves. Starting frontwards, we practice the 3-beat wave, which looks like this. Basically the arms over, under, over, under. Again, to get out of it, just separate your arms. If you want to go ahead and transition front to back, start forward, and then backwards. And once you get this down, practice a full spin without staying on one side. Gets a little fast. Make sure again that you pay attention to where the poi stop. That's important so you know what kind of move you can transition into. So say for instance, here's a front beat, or a frontwards 3-beat weave rather. And then I could just open it up. I'm going split time, and then I could just add a turn here or there. And with that turn, with that split time turn, I'm able to easily transition back into a weave. So especially practice this. The poi are going opposite each other, which we call split time, and it's really easy to transition into that weave. We can turn around and then again separate it and go split time. And then just maybe add a turn with a split time.